This is the Kestrel Country Podcast, where we discuss the people, places, and events all around Kestrel Country. Welcome, Ashley Haynes, to the Kestrel Country Podcast, and thanks for being game to come on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm glad you could. So we asked Ashley to come on to talk about chickens, but Ashley doesn't like chickens.
Not really.
No. So we'll get there. That's the teaser. But Ashley, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you're doing.
I am from here. I was born in Moscow. Always have lived north of town in Latah County, Potlatch, Princeton, Harvard area. My dad, my grandpa, multi-generational.
Yeah, you guys go way back.
From Latah County, yes.
Okay. Wow. Good. And then, what do you do?
I have a micro dairy right now. So getting that up and going.
And that's new.
Cows. That is new. We used to have dairy cows, got out of it for a while, back into it full force now.
What made you guys get back into it?
Missed it.
Oh, you did? Mm-hmm. Okay, you just loved it.
Yeah, really loved it.
And now you've got how many kids?
6 kids.
Okay, and their age ranges?
Youngest is almost 10, oldest is 19.
Okay, and so are they all still at home?
They are all still at home. Oldest is at NSA, still staying at home, and then we're homeschooling the others.
So you guys have a full plate.
Yes.
Yes, and Ashley does way more than just the micro dairy.
Yes.
You also have your garden. You're an expert gardener. So there's a lot we can talk about. But tell us the name of your farm.
It's Spunky Farmhouse.
And what brought you into farming? Have you been doing that since you guys got married?
Let's see, Jesse and I both grew up out of town with property with animals.
Okay.
So and then we got married. We bought a little house in Potlatch, fixed it up. I'm like, we don't want to raise our kids in town. So we flipped that one, did that again to build up equity so we could get out of town.
So how many times did you flip houses?
We are on our 4th.
Okay. And you've built them yourself too.
This one is our first one.
This is okay, but you've remodeled them in the past. So handy people, which they really are.
You gotta have goals.
Yes,
There.
yes. All the stepping. Talk about getting on the ladder. That's Jen's phrase.
Get on the ladder.
Okay, so you moved out of town, and when did you first do dairy?
We were talking about this last night. I don't remember when we first. Jesse grew up with a milk cow.
Okay.
I grew up with milk goats.
Oh.
And we had a cow for a short time, but I'm not a goat person either.
Okay, we need to find out why you're not all these things, because you are a lot of other things. So you like the cow. Why don't you like the goat?
They're really cute and they're really fun. They're hard to keep in. They're just slightly annoying.
Okay. What about the smell? Was that an issue for you?
We didn't have billy goats.
Okay.
So it wasn't too big of an issue.
Okay. Did you actually have a herd that you were
Growing
breeding?
up?
Yeah, and
Yes.
growing. Okay. So it's only the billy goats that smell?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was kind of under the impression it was all male goats. And that's not the case.
Yeah, no, just the billy goats.
Oh, okay. There you go. What about those really cute little goats, you know?
Little pygmies.
Oh, my word. The ones with the curly.
We didn't have those. My sister and I both had a cashmere goat, and we would show them at the fair. We didn't sell them. We'd show them every year at the fair.
I want one of those.
Those were fun.
I mean, I just want the cashmere off of one
Right,
of those.
yeah. No, those were really fun.
Oh, that is really fun.
What about painting goats?
We didn't have those either.
No, those are
We had the
so
2 cashmeres, and then we had Nubians and Sanans and milk goats.
Okay. So you grew up with that. And Jesse did too. And then Jesse was logging for a long time?
Yes. He started logging when he was like 12 with his grandpa. His grandpa had a milk cow.
Okay. So it's in the blood.
Right.
All right. So when did you guys first start doing it yourselves?
We started doing it, I think it was after we had 4 kids.
Needed something else to do.
Yeah, exactly. We were homeschooling. We were home all the time anyway. And so it was really fun and easy.
Okay. And what kind of milk cow did you do?
At that point, we had a Jersey, and then we were up to, I think, 3 or 4 we were milking at a time.
Okay.
All Jerseys.
Whew.
And different kinds of beef cows. And now we have mostly brown Swiss.
Okay. What made you switch?
Just researching more and wanted to try something different. The brown Swiss are very docile.
Okay.
Very sweet. And some Jerseys are, but some can be very high strung. So we have one that is a 3/4 Jersey, 1/4 brown Swiss, but then we have a couple full brown Swiss.
Is there any difference in the flavor of the milk?
We have not, the brown Swiss are pretty creamy. They don't have as much cream that separates out, but the milk as a whole is very creamy.
So it's more homogenized
Yes.
naturally?
Right.
Interesting. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And now you've got your beautiful bottles and you're selling it.
Yes.
How much is it per gallon if someone wants to go?
I'm selling in half gallons, and
Okay.
so if you come to my farm, it's $6 a bottle, and then there's a one-time bottle deposit of $4.
Gotcha.
And it's going to be at the co-op and at Rosar's in the next couple weeks.
That's so fun. And they're really cute bottles. Have you seen them?
have
They've got the
not.
pink caps.
Yes.
Aw.
Because I needed a splash of color. Like
Yeah.
a Spunky Farmhouse. You know?
Yes. So Spunky Farmhouse, you need to go look them up. They're really, really cute. Okay, I want to jump into chickens really quick, and then we can go back to stuff you like. Okay, so have you raised chickens, and what kinds?
We used to have, at our other place, we had chickens. Well, okay, we've had multiple journeys with chickens. We used to have a black lab,
Okay.
and so we would get chickens and she would eat them.
See-
And then we would get chickens
That's
and
a
then she would
problem.
eat them. And then one day we got them again and got a rooster. And we don't know what happened because we weren't home, but she never touched a chicken again.
Oh, okay. So it really did work.
It did work. And then they didn't really have a great place, so they just kind of lived in the barn everywhere.
Yeah.
And then they would have chicks. And we actually didn't realize how many chickens we had until we moved from that place and we got rid of them. And I kept like selling them and giving them away, and there was more and more. We had like 80.
Oh,
It
my
was-
word.
It was a lot.
Okay. Were you gathering eggs from
Yes.
them too?
But it was like an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah,
for
because
the
they
kids,
weren't in. Oh, man.
like every day.
Yeah. Did you have a bad experience like cracking open one if you were dealing with a rooster and
Not really. No,
Okay.
actually, that was all good.
that's good. Okay.
I think my dislike of chickens goes back to childhood, though, because we had
What
a
happened?
mean rooster.
And
Oh.
okay.
And he
So
was
you
huge. His
have
name was
prejudice.
Goliath, and he was huge. And you would go get the eggs, and then you would run as fast as you could back to he would chase you.
See, that would put someone off chickens.
That
So
does.
a little bit of fear. It's like a little bit. I'm not a bird person.
Well, I think it's an interesting thing because when they're chicks, they're super cute and fluffy and the kids love them. But then the kids do get scared of them when they turn into dinosaurs, you know? And I think that's what happens
Yes.
is they go through the teenage years where they look so ugly.
Yes.
And then their feathers are coming in and they do kind of look like a dinosaur. And the idea of getting pecked
Yes.
is a very real.
Well, and I was always told. My parents always told us about someone had their eyes pecked out.
Oh,
And so you always have that image, and you're like, oh.
yep.
That's terrifying.
That is terrifying.
I think it was just for us to be careful, but
But
sure,
it
they're
went
traumatized.
the other way. Okay. So far, I don't think we're convincing people to do chickens.
Nope.
We'll see if we can change this. If you were giving advice on how to go about starting chickens, because now you have them again.
Now we have them again as of the last month.
Okay. And how did you do these ones?
So my mother-in-law has a big incubator.
Okay.
And Amita really wanted chickens.
Amita is how old?
She is 12.
Okay. Yeah. So very capable.
So we're like, okay, fine. Mm-hmm. And so we got the incubator, got a bunch of eggs, and hatched chicks. So now we have these starting to look ugly.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
4-week-old.
And what kind did you get?
We got multiple.
Yay.
So my sister she picked chickens based on egg color, which is how I am.
That's what I do too.
I don't care if it's the flock all looks the same.
No, I don't either. I want them to be pretty
Easter
eggs.
eggers.
Yes.
And then she had one rooster. So hers are like a barnyard mix.
Okay.
And then I also got some pure breeds from a lady up in Airway Heights.
Okay. So what
have
pure
some
breeds
both.
did you go for?
I was going to bring my list and I forgot.
Oh, okay.
Amita could tell you.
But did you go for some colors? What colors
Yes, they're
on the
all
eggs?
colored too. So
Yeah.
we have the dark brown.
Did you get the dark brown? So the Marans.
dark brown.
Yes, and I think it's a French Marans. It
Yes,
might be
I
a,
think that's
but
one
that's
of
like the super dark
Yes.
brown, and I don't have one of those, and I want one of those.
those. Yeah, no, I had some. I was looking at. I had never seen an egg
Oh,
that dark.
like a chocolate.
Yes.
So it is gorgeous, the array of eggs you can get. And I'm all about that too, because I love the blue, I love the green. And we've got that right now. We have one that does white.
Yes.
And then we've got a mix of the light browns. You know, the Well Summer does a spotted egg.
Oh, fun.
And I've tried to get that one. I tried last year and then wasn't able to get it in through Spence, but got some of the other ones. We did the crazy haired ones. I did go for
those are
some of the
fun.
ones just because they looked so funny.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
And those are
They do
Polish.
look funny.
Yes.
They look hilarious. My favorite is when it's raining outside because then it's like everybody's their worst hair day possible. And our rooster is a Polish, and so he's got
Okay, he's got big.
the big. It's a crack up, the rock star hair. So there's a lot of joy. There's also a lot of gross. I mean,
Right.
it's chickens and the chicken poop.
Yep.
So there's that side of it, and there's
very
cleaning out the
useful
coop.
stuff,
It is useful. And Jen has done both laying and broilers.
Yeah.
Have you done broilers?
I grew up doing some. Jesse grew up doing a lot.
So does he hate it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So there's this mixed bag here, guys. In terms of enjoying the chickens and the smell, probably, and the work associated.
They do smell. You
Yeah.
wouldn't think they're small-ish, so you wouldn't think they'd produce such a smell.
They do.
But they do.
Yeah.
But the eggs, the meat,
The eggs and the meat.
there's your trade-off.
Yes, exactly. And that's what you have to remember.
For my mind, the biggest thing is the chores for the kids.
Yes.
I want them to have chores.
Responsibility.
Not just stuff that Jeremy and I have made up just to keep them busy, but actual
Yeah.
work that needs to be done. These lives depend on you.
Yep.
You've got to do it well.
And then you
Yeah.
can sell the eggs.
Yeah, you can sell the eggs. With the broilers, we had the movable chicken tractor that you
fun.
have to do every day. And then you have to put up the hot wire around it again, or they're going to die
Right.
that night. So if you mess up on feeding them, watering them, putting the wire back around, there's just a lot of steps for a young person to remember. This.
Right.
A big responsibility.
Yeah.
And what did you notice with your chicken tractor, too? You were telling me what you noticed moving it around your pasture.
Oh my goodness, the grass. So green and so thick. I mean, just a few days after you've moved it.
Oh, yeah.
It's all matted down when you first move it on and smells bad. And then a few days later, it's like it's
really
lush, it's thick, it's green. There was a trail down our pasture coming back the other way. It made a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the good side of things. The other thing, I know it's guinea hens, I believe, that do a really good job of eating ticks. But I figure the chickens have to do a decent job of eating
I don't
ticks.
think they would ignore a tick if
Right.
they came across it.
I would imagine they help eat and take down the tick population.
All of the bugs.
Yeah, all the bugs. So there's the positives. How have you guys, so when they're small, you did the incubator method. We've never incubated. We've always bought our chicks. And so we've done it where you pick it up at the, or they had to get picked up at the post office or just go to the supply store. So we purchased from North 40. We purchased from Spence Hardware. It's been great. We have had chicks die, occasionally.
Right.
And that just seems to happen.
Right.
But it's traumatic or can be traumatic. So there's that part. But then we do the heat lamp and we've done it in the garage, which was messy and smelly. But then the last time I just put the heat lamp right in the coop, the full size coop.
Right.
Which was way better.
Yes.
So much easier.
So they just really stay.
They stay
huddled
right under it.
They'll stay there if they want it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, they've got the food and water and they can go and get the food and water. I think it was easier for us to do that this time because we didn't already have full grown chickens.
Right.
So the problem of the chickens attacking each other, it can be a problem.
It can be.
And they can be
nasty
mean.
Problem. It's so mean.
Yeah.
Even when you're full grown, you're gonna wake up some days and go, "Oh well, that one did something wrong and now it's dead."
Yeah.
It's been pecked to death.
Yes.
Overnight.
Or they just occasionally seem to go die in the corner.
Right.
Have you had that happen?
We have in the past.
We have too. And so the death aspect is really
Yeah.
possible.
With our first batch of the broilers, we got the 50 chicks, and by the time we reached butchering day, we had 38.
Okay.
And those I think are more prone
So we heard.
to
Yeah. Because we've usually just had one or two on our chicks or
Right.
even a chicken later in
We've
life.
only had one die. We had 44 hatch.
Nice.
And only one died.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so how have you done your heat lamp setup?
Well, because we bought bare property and had to build everything on our place, we did not have a chicken coop yet.
Yeah.
And so Jesse was building that, and we're like, we have this, 21 days.
Before it comes.
Hurry.
Yeah.
And then they started hatching at day 19.
Oh.
And so it wasn't ready yet, and it was cold. And so they went into a box in the basement,
Yeah.
in the laundry room, where we could shut a couple doors.
Yep.
But 44 chicks.
Oh, man.
They're like, get them out.
Yeah.
And so he finished it up, and then we put them in there.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not 100% finished, but they're in there and they can run around. And,
Yeah.
And then just have the heat lamps in there.
Yeah, that really does wonders. And what do you do for your, because there's so many questions. And as soon as you open the internet, when you start researching it, it's like, oh, wow, the deep litter method or whatever, or sand. What do you guys use for
We
the
put
base?
sawdust. Well, Jesse cut sawdust, so not like shavings. He cut
Oh.
shavings. So when you cut the log the other way, you
Yeah.
don't just get the sawdust, you get the shavings. So that's what we put down.
Oh, nice.
And it smells good in there.
I believe it. So you just have to freshen it? Do you add more? And you have an
Clean that
abundance
out.
of that?
Yeah, he just goes out to the log deck and does
And
some more.
Oh, fantastic. So you don't have to go buy pine shavings or
Right. But I
or
know there's
straw.
a place in Viola you can buy them.
Oh, okay.
In bulk.
Oh, that's great.
With a sawmill, place with a sawmill. So
Oh, I didn't know that. And you like that better than straw?
yes.
Why?
Well, it smells better.
The smell?
When straw gets wet.
Yeah, it
it's
just kinda mats.
Mats and gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
And moldy.
It
And
molds,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I need to switch because we've done straw.
Okay.
And that sounds way better, especially when you deal with it in the muddy winter and the muddy spring.
Right.
Are the shavings expensive?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay.
'Cause you
I
just
don't
make them.
because he just made. I was going to go. They weren't bad,
Yeah.
Okay.
and I know you can get different. You can get a huge tote
Right.
if you want to.
Okay.
And what happens when those get wet? They just kind of,
They're just.
it's,
Absorb
It's not
it?
bad. Yeah, they
Yeah.
absorb it a bit, and I feel like they're smaller.
uh-huh.
So when they're scratching and they can
It's
run
easier
around,
to-
yeah, it's not a long piece of straw or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. I like that. And you use that for the nesting boxes too?
Well, he didn't build the nest.
Oh, they're not there yet. Okay.
I
So
don't know.
what
We'll
will
see.
you do for your
I don't
nesting
know. I
boxes?
might do straw in there.
In the nesting boxes. Okay. So to explain, what is the nesting box? What about a roosting space? What kind of things do you need to put in the coop?
Jesse made us a fancy coop. So we have some windows and stuff, and we have a walk-in door where, like, the man door.
Yeah.
Because we do have a bird dog. We wanted like this double barrier to the chickens.
Oh, yeah.
So you can walk into the coop before you get into the where the chickens are,
Nice.
and then we'll have the egg gather. We'll have the nesting boxes where they can lay their eggs,
Mm-hmm.
and we can access that from
From that first.
that first door, but it's not just outside. Mm-hmm. And then he made a flip up little, I don't know, I think it's like 1x3 door. Mm-hmm. So we can latch that up when we're cleaning out the coop
Oh.
and just shovel everything straight outside. Mm-hmm. We have a drop off right there. Mm-hmm. And then the nesting or the roosting.
The roosting things. Yeah. So they like to be up to roost at night. And then the nesting boxes are where they go to lay their eggs, ideally.
Yes.
Sometimes they go in random places.
All
And-
over the yard.
yeah. Yeah. We've done the golf balls or the fake wooden eggs in their
Okay.
nesting boxes before to try to help.
Help.
Yeah. Whether it's done that or not, I don't know. You know, have you ever dealt with the chickens eating their eggs?
Growing up, we did, but
Yeah.
I don't know that we ever did when we had chickens before.
We had it with one batch, and I think I tried the mustard-filled egg and various things, and that I think seemed
Isn't
to
it
work.
a deficiency?
Is this a
I think
calcium?
it's a calcium deficiency, and so we had the milk cows.
Oh,
And I read once if you give chickens milk, it will double their egg production. I was like, double, really? And then I gave them milk, and it doubled our egg production.
oh,
And
interesting.
so I think that maybe that helped also with
Oh,
the eating.
right, because
They
then
would
they're getting their
just
calcium.
They would get that, yeah.
Oh, that's good to know.
Nice trick.
Yeah, that is a nice trick. Yeah. What do you do for your egg feed? I mean, your chicken feed.
We get feed in bulk from Zachariason
Okay.
farm out on the Pullman Highway.
Nice.
And so we get that for our cows and
The same
chickens
feed?
and the pigs. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Well, they can mix it separate too.
To make
so
the
they
different-
can make a separate mix just for your cows, however you want it. How much protein do you want? Do you want extra things added? And they can do it for chickens and
And they can do it for the pigs too. Oh, fantastic. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We're jumping into pigs too this year. This is a first. So that's woo,
Exciting.
it'll be a whole nother excitement.
pigs are fun. I like pigs.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you got your chicken feed, and then what about? Do you do a daylight lamp at all through the winter? Because I know there's differing views on
I
that.
haven't decided for sure.
Yeah.
We do have 2 windows, but I think it will help them to keep
To
more,
keep
just
laying.
as much- yeah.
Yeah. We did it this year for the first time.
Did you notice a difference?
Yeah, we had eggs all through.
All
Yeah.
the time.
And what I did is on a timer with the sunset. So
Okay.
I could lengthen, we needed X number of hours after sunset.
Right.
And then it would just automatically turn on and then turn itself off.
Nice.
Which is great. Yeah. So it did seem to work pretty well. What about chickens in the cold? I think that could be a worrisome factor for people. It seems like they're so fragile in the snow.
My mother-in-law she just had some roosters this winter.
Yeah.
And she said she did not put a heat lamp on them at all.
And they were tight.
totally fine.
Yeah.
They weren't her laying hens. You might want, with your light, maybe put something. So she
Yeah.
didn't really care too much, but she said they were totally
They
fine.
were fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did it only for a few, like some of the really cold
Okay.
nights. And, but I don't know that they actually needed it.
Right.
Now, maybe it helped them lay more because their energy wasn't going into staying warm or whatever. But,
Right.
but yeah, no, it really wasn't bad.
And I know some, like cows are fine in the cold.
Yeah.
But they don't do well with heat.
Oh, interesting. So you have to
So you
make sure.
feel bad when it's cold, but actually they're totally
They're just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about the broilers, Jen? You've done them just through the summer, but they grow up pretty quickly, don't they?
Well, you get them early spring when it's freezing. So we did have them in the barn. We had a couple of heat lamps and a big box, but they were all in.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was your exact question?
Well, you haven't done them over the winter because you don't need to, right?
No. I mean, you have them while it still feels winter. So
Yeah, so
keeping
you-
them warm. I mean, some of the early ones that died, we did just wonder if they strayed a little too far from the heat
right.
lamp. I mean, I don't know, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
No idea why they died. We had quite a few die. It's just tiny little ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you said the broilers are also more
I
sensitive.
think that they are.
Okay.
Just
We were warned that you were just going to lose some.
you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts on chickens? So you dislike them, but you have them again.
I'll have them again. I enjoy them to an extent. It's just every once in a while, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not my favorite.
No, I can.
Very, very best thing in the entire world is when you're baking and you
Yeah.
need an egg.
That
Just
is.
go outside.
That is the
Get
best
it.
thing ever, especially when my kids were young and somebody's taking a nap and I live out of town. And
Yeah.
I only need one more.
Just
Yeah.
one more.
And so the
Yeah.
older kids could run out and just find me one more egg.
Yes.
And that's why I
Or
like
as a
having the
mom,
milk cows too. It's like, oh, just go get another
Yeah.
gallon of milk.
just a little more milk.
Just a little more. Hang
We
on,
just
guys.
need cows now.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Everybody needs a cow.
Oh, man. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about cows. Although I do have to say, it's a little creepy going out to the coop late at night.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like we had the purpley light in there. Like, ooh.
There's just something about it's just birds. I think I'm just not.
You're just,
I just send my boys.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good
They need a
chore.
Late night run in the cold.
We do crack up though, because so we have a bird dog too. And Sophie's class last year hatched, they incubated some eggs and hatched them. And we ended up with 2 of those, so they're younger and
Right.
they made it. That's fine. Well, Gunnar, our dog, comes running around the yard one day and there's something in his mouth. And he gets closer and realizes, and is like, kids, go inside. Just
don't wanna see
expecting this like massacre and blood and feathers. Because, when an animal gets them, the feathers, whew. But Gunnar dropped it when Mike told him to, and the bird was fine. And then he put his paw on it to make it stay put because it started to run.
Fine.
I know. And so I think that's what damaged the chicken a little bit, because then for a while it was limping on its poor little foot. We're like, we'll just see. It had its other little buddy, who was young, and so they were separate from the bigger flock,
Right.
so they wouldn't get attacked. And he was kind of just gimping on his foot, But then he got better. It was great, and then it happened to the other chicken. These poor little 2 chicks. Gunnar got the other one and ran around the yard with it, and he dropped it, and that one was totally fine. And so we figure the chicks go back and just tell the rest of the flock their stories of survival. Great, the black beast.
If you want chickens and a dog, get a bird dog.
Get the bird dogs. Well, so far his mouth is really soft. So that was a good
That's-
thing.
yes.
In terms of a bird dog. But it was, we've had a dog in the past kill a chicken.
Well, our lab was so food driven.
Yeah.
And so she wouldn't just kill them; she would eat them completely.
Oh. Yeah.
And the bird dog we have now, he's just much more of a.
Yeah.
He's for sport. He doesn't eat them.
Well, and we had one bird dog before this one who I think was just trying to play with it. He didn't eat it, but it killed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
We had things that we didn't even know kill our chickens. It's like we have the luxury suite 4-room coop that was built, I don't know when, long before we bought the property. And we would inspect it so carefully because something was getting in at night and just decapitating chickens and
Ugh.
eating them. We still have no idea where it was getting in.
Wow.
Yeah. We've-
Weasel or something small that can slip in
And
the
just,
smallest of places. And
yeah, the predators are kind of
it's a thing.
yeah.
Yes.
The hawks, one time a hawk was going after a chicken. So there really is that side of it too, which is, the farm life,
Yeah.
which includes a lot of death.
It's just a lot of death.
A lot. Yeah.
Which I think it just makes your kids appreciate animals' food.
Oh,
It
completely.
doesn't numb you. It makes you
No.
appreciate it so much more.
So much
Like,
more.
value life.
Yeah.
It really
Well,
does.
I mean, we're pretty sheltered right now. I don't know that that's all good.
Yeah.
You know, knowing that death is a part of life, it's a good thing.
Yes.
You know,
And that the
Opposed-
sacrifice of the animals make, it's just, and that they lived out
They have a
there.
purpose. They give them the best life that they can.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
Yeah.
they do their job.
And they, yes. And they go into the freezer. So tell us a little bit more about your cows. So you're doing both beef now and
Yes. We
Dairy.
just actually sold most of our beef cows, so we're down to, I think, 5.
okay. Are you going to be building the herd up, or are you getting out?
We're just reducing it because we're building up the dairy side.
Okay.
Okay.
And they're not interchangeable on the dairy. You don't have a,
You kind of can't, like the brown Swiss are a bigger cow,
okay.
and they're supposed to have, we haven't butchered one, but they're supposed to have a lot more meat versus a Jersey.
Okay.
And so they can be a dual purpose, or you could breed them a beef, and then if you had a bull calf, you could have half beefs. So it's not a total loss, but it's not the same as a beef.
Okay.
What does it take to get into cows? Like, what setup do you need for someone who
You
wants?
want to wing it like what we do.
There you go.
Just buy the cow and then get everything
And then,
built.
we need some electric fence. And then we build your fence around the cows. So, it's not the best.
It forces your hand,
How
though.
we roll. Because, yes, otherwise,
Yep.
It would take forever.
yes.
Fence building?
Yes.
Yep.
You just go get them and then you have to.
Yeah.
That's how we. Kinda
Yeah, I think that's kind of how we started
Get the
chickens.
eggs,
It was like,
put 'em in the-
oh, get the coop done.
Yeah. Just, that's
Yeah.
how you get it.
Yeah. So how many dairy cows do you guys have?
We have 4 that in 2 weeks or 2 to 4 weeks we'll be milking 4.
Okay.
And then we have another one that we're raising up, and then
How
we'll
long
go from
does it
there.
take you to get through your morning routine with the milk cows?
Right now we are in the process of switching everything over, so it's very inefficient.
Okay.
And it's taken us 45 minutes to an hour, but we should be able to get that way less.
Oh,
On
wow.
an efficient day, what do you think?
It should be more in the under a half an hour. I mean, it should
Okay.
be, if everything's,
But you're experienced at
Yeah.
this. So for a newbie, what do you think?
like if you're milking 1 cow,
Sure. Start with a
but
cow.
it depends on, do you have a milk machine? Are you hand milking? Are you taking that milk to your kitchen and straining it? Do you have a kitchen in your barn?
Ooh. Do you have
Oh, wow.
the machines in the kitchen?
I have a
in the
machine,
barn?
yes, I do.
Oh, wow. Fun.
Yeah. So 4 cows, how many gallons are you getting per milking session?
We'll be getting, with our 4th cow, we'll be getting between 20 and 30 a day. So
Wow. That's a lot.
10 to 15. Well, this morning we have the 3 cows and we were at 9.5 or 10 gallons this
Okay.
morning.
And then what's the next step? So you said filtering. What does that entail?
So, which we're getting bulk tank, which will be here next week. So that's
Oh,
going to change
wow.
our process again.
Okay.
But right now we're filtering it into bottles and then putting them in the fridge. But then we'll just filter it into the bulk tank, which will chill it quickly all in one.
Okay.
And then we can fill the bottles from that, which will be much more efficient.
Oh, cool.
What kind of a filter do you use? I'm guessing it's something special.
There's a paper filter.
Okay.
What does
Get
that
like a
do?
dispense, and that just, if there is anything still left, if there's any dirt or anything, and you wash the cows as good as you can, but then if anything was in there, it just filters anything else out.
Interesting. Okay.
Make sure it's extra clean. No chunk of hay that happened to
Right.
get in there.
And so then you're selling it raw. Mm-hmm. So explain the difference between like the raw, the pasteurized, ultra pasteurized, like homogenized. What are all those
So
things?
when you pasteurize, you're killing the bacteria. So you're killing all the bad bacteria, but you're also killing all of the good bacteria. So then if you did get a bacteria in there, you have no bacteria to fight it.
Gotcha.
So when you get a bacteria in a pasteurized milk, it's bad, and you can get sick from it. And so even if you have a bad bacteria in a raw milk, you have the good bacteria that's fighting it actively, and so that's.
Balancing it.
And raw
ideally.
milk never goes bad.
Really?
It turns into different things.
Okay.
You may not want to drink it still. It might smell sour, but it's not going to harm you. It doesn't go bad. It will just turn into clabber and,
Oh, wow.
So what is true buttermilk, for instance?
well, true buttermilk
Yeah.
is from making your
top.
butter. Mm-hmm. When you make you skim the cream, make the butter, and then when you wash it, that is true buttermilk.
But what we get in the store, is that true buttermilk?
No, that's cultured buttermilk.
Okay.
Which is easy to make. I like cultured because it's thick.
Yeah. And true buttermilk is not thick.
Right.
Okay.
Oh,
Interesting.
cool. Thanks.
So are you making a lot of stuff with your milk, or are you just going to be selling it as milk?
I make a lot right now.
Just because you have so much?
Yes.
Okay. So what all are you making?
Tons of cheese, different kinds of cheese, yogurt, butter, cream cheese, cottage cheese, and all of the cheddars and the Gruyere and the Goudas and everything
Wow. And where are you storing all that?
in another refrigerator. Right
You
now.
just got, okay.
That's what we have.
Yeah. No cheese cave?
No cheese cave yet.
Not yet.
Do you sell any of the products?
I sell yogurt. I haven't sold any cheeses yet.
Okay. Are they all still aging?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and that's where you have to make it, and then you age it. It might be 6 months, and then you try it, and if it's really good, you're like, well, I should have been making it this whole time, so we can unlock. But what if it's not good? I don't want to make it a bunch of.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is why you need to have pigs, so that then they can eat anything that you.
Throw away.
Yeah.
Oh, smart.
And the whey, they get the chickens and the pigs, they get the whey, they get all the byproducts, and then it's just like you're feeding all of the animals from the cow. The cow
Wow.
can take grass and sustain chickens, pigs, and humans and
pretty
themselves.
crazy. That's pretty crazy.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It's really cool. So you just need
Oh
cows.
man.
then?
Just need
Oh
cows.
man. No, Mike wants beef cows. That's what Mike wants. He really wants to do
You need
beef.
some milk cow.
Ooh.
Our boys can handle it.
Handle milking. So you have the machine for milking though.
Yeah, we used to hand milk.
And was that hard?
No.
No.
And we can milk about as fast,
Really?
but you cannot multitask because you're there milking. And so your chores take longer. Now we can hook a cow up and then we can go feed their hay, check their water, bottle feed a calf, come
yeah.
back, check, so you're multitasking there. And also it's all contained, so it's much cleaner.
Yeah,
You
that
don't
makes
have
sense.
any-
Yeah,
in
because
the summer,
it's,
there's no fly that fell in your bucket or
oh,
anything.
right. Yep.
It's all sealed.
That's pretty cool. So when the whole process happens here, from how long does a cow milk for before you have to breed it again?
Our current one, this is almost April. She calved last April, and she will not calve again until August. We're still milking her, and she's still giving over 4 gallons a day.
And so that's over a year. So is
Yes.
that what, a year and a half?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I'll dry her up like in June probably to give her a little bit of a break, but she's still going strong. So you do not, a dairy cow, a beef cow, you breed them usually every year.
Okay.
You have a calf every year, but a dairy cow, you can extend it out, 15 months or a little bit longer.
Okay. And then do you keep all the calves? Are you planning to keep all the calves?
Well, it depends.
Okay.
Maya just had a calf a week ago. That's a half dairy, half beef, and it's a bull calf. And so if we do keep him, we'll keep him and butcher him. And that's
Right.
hard when
Yeah.
you bottle fed it.
Yeah, it is
But
hard.
she knows that.
But it's still hard.
Yes,
We
it's
did the
still
lambs
hard.
last year,
Yes.
which was really great. But
But
it
when you're
was,
bottle feeding them,
you bottle feed them, you get to know them. They're so friendly, which is just the best. But
Yes.
it was rough
It's
come
hard.
butcher time.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, I think we've ran out of probably space on the recording on the video part of it, which is okay. We don't mind. It seems to,
keep chatting.
it is pretty good. Do you have any thoughts or tips? Is this for everybody?
It's probably not for everybody.
Yeah. What
Because
do you,
you are tied down.
okay.
But it
Morning
depends.
and night.
Yes,
the
morning
twice
and
a
night,
day.
twice a day, unless some people calf share. And
Okay.
so you can leave the cap on if you want your evenings. Yeah, you can calf share. You don't get as much milk, but you can
But
do
you
that.
can-
It kind of frees you up a bit.
Uh-huh.
And so there's advantages and disadvantages. I am a very fast-paced person. And so I think when you have to go out and you have to milk the cows and you do it slows you down, it grounds you, which is very helpful for me.
Yeah. And you've done soap too. Are you still doing soap? Mm-hmm. Okay. But that's made from not goats, or what are you making it from?
Usually just water and oils.
Okay.
And lye. But I have done some
With
milk
the goat.
soaps.
Okay. So you guys have the full blown farm busyness. And do you see it going anywhere else? You've added pigs too?
We had pigs last year. We're about ready to get
Get some more?
pigs again. Yeah.
Are you doing those to maintain them, or is that just for 4-H, or
We don't do pork.
you don't do 4-H? Okay.
No, just for the meat.
Just for the meat.
Yeah.
Nice.
And pigs grow best on milk.
Oh, wow.
They really are the best.
Yeah.
Growing up, we had the goats. We milked the goats. We didn't really have any good goat milk. So we would raise pigs.
Just to drink it.
And then we would milk the goats, feed it to the pigs, and that was the best pork you've
Interesting.
ever had.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I try that.
Yeah, I do too. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, any other final thoughts or tips?
I don't know. I mean, I think everybody should get a cow, but I know everybody shouldn't get a cow.
Well, in city limits, you can't have a cow, I don't think, unless you have enough space, which there's
Right.
all the
You're
regulations
not
and
going to get a cow
requirements.
then.
No, you can do backyard chickens, however.
Yes, exactly.
So you can get a flock. In Moscow, it's 6 hens, no
No
rooster.
roosters.
Yeah. And then I think there might be some flexibility. I had this all written out, but there's some flexibility. If your lot size is a certain amount,
get
you can
some
go
more.
get some more. Same
Okay.
kind of thing, even with like the goat and the surrounding towns. I have this all in a document.
Nice.
But you can look it up online from the various cities'
Right.
codes on what you're allowed to have. But yeah, without the rooster, the flock really is. I mean, they're still a little noisy, but it's not the rooster
No,
noise.
it's not the rooster noise. You get your fresh eggs.
You get your fresh eggs. It's fun.
You
It
do what
is
you can
very
with what you
easy.
have.
Yeah, you really do. And there's some really cute little coops all ready to
Oh,
go.
yes.
And they don't need tons and tons of coop space. Having the run and the access
And they
outside.
can eat your extra scraps. They
Yeah.
can eat your,
Yeah. It's great.
I read, now I can't remember exactly what it said, but basically, if everybody would get a couple backyard chickens, a lot of America's problems would be solved with the waste, with all of
all the food.
the food shortages and the waste and all of the things, because Your chickens are eating that. They're producing your own eggs. You're not,
Oh yeah. Well, it is great. I feed tons of the kitchen scraps to the chickens. Now I wasn't quite sure because we're adding in the pigs in a little bit, how I will divide the scraps
Right.
because we don't have the milk.
Share.
I know, but it is great. I do appreciate that for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, Ashley, thank you so much. And what's your website for Spunky Farmhouse?
The spunkyfarmhouse.com.
Great. And you're on Instagram too?
Yes.
Same?
Spunky Farmhouse without the.
Okay.
Okay.
At Spunky Farmhouse.
Yes.
So go take a look for Ashley's fun stuff or go to the co-op or Rosars in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look for the pink cap.
Cap.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Ashley.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next week.